I want to pin my legacy on the move. I'm better than who? Killing independently, tremendous. My legend is true. I am Teasy, the trendsetter, the man for the pleasure, undefeated under pressure. Let's get it.
No, see no competitors. You shouldn't step in the ring with the predators. Your iced tea sweet, but still don't measure up. Y'all fold every time I turn the pressure up. Turn the pressure up. You don't want pressure up. Turn the pressure.
Yeah. Sports show. Yeah. Sports show. Yeah. Sports show. We get it on. Yeah. Sports show. Yeah. Sports show. Yeah. Sports show. We get it on. Yeah.
Yerrr.
P, why you have a mask on in the house?
I'm in the protocols.
In the house by yourself?
Well, yes, but I'm still in the protocols.
Okay.
I want to make sure I want to make sure I don't get my dog sick. Today's my last day in the protocols. I've been laid up all week. But today's supposed to be my last day in the protocols. And
you ain't tell us shit either.
I've been laid up.
He ain't tell us nothing. That he had the vid and he didn't tell nobody. That's tough.
I barely had enough strength to get out my bed and get tested when I did. That's like I've had like 2 really, really bad days. I consider myself blessed. I know people who have been through a lot worse dealing with COVID. I had really only 2 bad days. But I'll be going back to my doctor after today's episode to go take another test to make sure that I am clear for tomorrow. I'm supposed to commentate at an event tomorrow, but if I'm not clear, I'm gonna have to pull out of tomorrow's event. So I'm gonna be getting again after today's show.
Good. We hope everything you're in the clear for sure. But welcome back to episode 96. Yes, episode 96 of the Yerrr Sports Show. I am your host, Big Baby, aka the Soul of R&B. And to my right, welcome back. We want to get to you first. Welcome back, the Queen, the undisputed, the always on time, Queen Tay. What's going on?
Yo, what's up, everybody?
Welcome back. You've been everywhere.
With a tan and a smile.
Yeah. Tay been doing some big things, y'all. Like all the good stuff that's happening, that's all Tay. I'm letting y'all know. All the good stuff. And at the bottom of the pyramid, since y'all have a problem with my list, pyramid, we have the voice of generation in protocols, Pete Rosado. What's going on, fam?
Protocol Pete.
Protocol Pete, yeah.
Protocol Pete.
It's been a rough week. But I'm blessed to be able to, see the light at the end of the tunnel. The law of averages finally caught up to me. I had not had COVID throughout the entirety of the pandemic, and still don't know how I got it. But unfortunately, here I am.
Well, we're glad you are feeling a bit better, and again, hopefully you're in the clear today. Queen, how have you been? We haven't had the chance to ask you how you've been lately.
I've been good. Really busy. As of even right now, I'm at my daughter's volleyball game. I couldn't find parking, so I'm sitting out here. So, I'm glad to be able to join you guys for a little bit. But I'm cool. I'm chilling. My first weekend home in a little while, so it feels good to be home. But I'm doing all right.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm super glad to hear that.
You're doing better than the Knicks.
We're doing better than the Knicks. We can go out and play for the Knicks right now, guys. One time. But we're definitely going to get to that. Shout out to everybody who's watching. Shout out to Ken Stones of the Dirty Hills podcast. Shout out to Drizzy and all his podcasts that he do. Shout out to Quest. And for those who listened from the beginning, that track that played at the beginning was Montezi featuring Music, as in Music Soul Child. That track is called Pressure. It officially drops March 5th. So it will drop on all streaming platforms. Shout out to Montezi for giving us the first crack at it. As many of you know, Montezi has done our original and our remix to our track. So shouts to him and everything that he's doing. But I want to jump right into some things, and we'll definitely get to quick hits. I know we have some quick hits, especially because I mentioned the baseball stuff too. But I want to go right into the meat of things. And man, this week has been kind of funny with sports, but especially basketball. But we're going to start with the New York Knicks and them deciding to them and Kemba deciding to shut it down for the rest of the season. Tay, what are your thoughts about the Kemba signing from the beginning? Because I know you weren't too up there about Kemba anyway. How do you feel about him now being shut down?
I have no thoughts. Like, I am protesting basketball. I feel like the Knicks are trash. They got my hopes up for like 30 seconds, and now we're right back to square one. I feel like the Kemba signing could have been a good big deal, but Kemba's gonna Kemba, and the Knicks gonna Nick. So at the end of the day, I do feel like it was the right. I mean, it was the right decision, I guess, but it shows like the white flag.
Understood. Pete.
I mean, I don't know what in anybody's mind made them think this would be a good signing, right? I was against the Kemba Walker signing from the beginning. I understood the hometown aspect of it, bringing Kemba back to New York. Obviously, when Kemba was at UConn, the way that he showed out, especially at that time in the Big East, always playing in the Garden, playing in those big games. I had to sit there and watch him decimate Syracuse sometimes in MSG. That incredible 6 overtime game, especially in the Garden, that I was there for. Just watching Kemba Walker play was incredible. But I don't know what made anyone think that signing Kemba Walker to be a starter, to play starter type minutes in 2021, 2022 was a good idea, especially given his recent injury history. Kemba Walker has not been the same since he left the then Charlotte Bobcats. And don't get me wrong, it's not easy to still play at the level that he plays at. I mean, he's still better than most people being able to just play at an NBA level. But, this is a man who's 31 years old and has not aged well. Injuries have not helped him. His last real good season was, his seasons with Boston, but you started to see the steady decline. In 2018, 2019, with the Charlotte Bobcats, Hornets.
They were Bobcats. They were the Bobcats. I'm sorry. They were the Hornets when he left.
Yeah, he averaged 25.6 points per game, playing almost 35 minutes a game, while also averaging 9 3-pointers attempts a game, shooting 36% from three-point land, while averaging 4.5 rebounds and 6 assists. That was his last full season as a starter. He played 82 games that season. In 2019-2020, he only played 56 games for Boston. He dropped to a 20 point per game average in 31 minutes. And then last year for Boston, only played 43 games, 32 minutes a game, and averaged 19 points. You saw the decline happening when he got to Boston. The injuries caught up to him. This is on the Knicks. Had you signed Kemba to be a bench player, to be an energy guy, to be a veteran leader, I could see it. To be a starter, no. Bad move by the Knicks from the beginning.
Absolutely. My thoughts on it as we welcome in BK Matt. I didn't like the Kemba signing to begin with. For a nostalgic level, it made sense to bring the New York kid back, just to be like, oh, he's here. Maybe he can, he'll rejuvenate his career in New York. And all he's done is pretty much nothing. Like, they're better off with no knees Derrick Rose than who's been playing phenomenal compared to what they have. Kemba Walker, it wasn't the best pickup, and they probably could have got something for him at the deadline if they really, really wanted to trade him. But Matt, your thoughts on the Kemba Walker pickup, and not just the Kemba Walker pickup, but him now being sat for the rest of the season.
All in all, I like Kemba Walker, but he's not a defending point guard, which doesn't fit Tom Thibodeau's style of play. So he was pretty much set up from the beginning to not really do or be as effective as Derrick Rose is supposed to be.
Right.
Or quickly, for that matter. So, I mean,
right.
They're a younger Knicks team, and I think we just all need to face facts. The Knicks is the team where good to great stars come to die. It's just like they don't ever pan out on the Knicks. It just doesn't happen ever. So, I mean, you can look at the surge of RJ Barrett. Maybe that could be a reason why they're doing what they're doing with Kemba Walker. I don't know. But, I mean, we knew from gate it wasn't going to be nothing to gloat about or to be so excited about. It was just more or less a home thing. He went to school in New York. That's all that it was. It was something for the home crowd to get tickets for. That's about it.
No, tell Knicks fans that, because they lauded him as the missing piece, the savior when he got signed. Like, oh my God, Kemba's gonna push us over the hump.
And don't tell Nets fans that having the quote unquote big three was a good idea. So let's not throw shots.
What are you talking about?
I was against Kyrie and Harden.
I'm lost with what shots did I take?
Saying that.
I don't think there were shots. I don't think there were shots. I think I saw that same thing. People were like, "Oh my God, it's Kemba! Thank the Lord."
I never saw that anywhere. I haven't seen anybody have that much fanfare for Walker in about 5 years.
We knew Kemba Walker. We knew we weren't going to see the Charlotte Hornets Kemba Walker. So, I mean, I don't think anybody looked at that as this was going to be the missing piece to what the Knicks needed. I liked Fournier. I still like Fournier, even though he's hot and cold. He's like the Chris Middleton of the group. But, again, I don't know what anybody was really expecting. I don't know what's going on with Kemba Walker because, again, we're not seeing the same trajectory of what everybody hoped Kemba Walker was going to be. He's been very injury prone. He's an Asian point guard, and I don't think he's able to really stand in front of any point guard in the league right now.
And I can tell you what the issue is with Evan Fournier. I really like that signing as well for the Knicks, but the issue with Fournier is they put a lot of pressure on him for him to be a number one scoring option in New York. And he was never really that in Orlando. He was really able to fade into the background, just kind of be a big fish in a small pond. There wasn't really a lot of pressure. So, yeah, he could go and score 25, 30 points quietly, and no one was really paying attention to Evan Fournier. But the minute you put him on that stage in New York, there's just players who aren't built to have the spotlight on them. And as good as Fournier is, he's one of those complementary pieces. Fournier would be a good pickup for a team like a Milwaukee, an LA, a Brooklyn, who needs a complementary shooter to space the floor, not a guy to be a number one scoring option, even though he can be when he needs to be.
I don't think Evan Fournier can be a number one scoring option in the States. I think he could do it in France. I don't think he could do it in the States. We saw it in the Olympics, but that was the hype on Evan Fournier too, because of what they did in the Olympics, and they played an out of body game against a U.S. team that wasn't quite put together yet. Evan Fournier was hyped too, to be like, oh yeah, this is going to be our leading scorer next to RJ Barrett. But RJ Barrett keeps going left. And
no, but RJ Barrett is doing good. He dropped 40-something the other night. Last night, actually.
Yes, 40-something in a loss. We can't give participation. We can't give participation awards to a team that doesn't know how to, forgot how to play defense and forgot how to win. Even though that game was 90-85, so there was some defense, but
I can't even pinpoint what's going on with the Knicks. Like I said, it can be a mixture of a lot of things. It can't, like, I'm not gonna solely say, oh, it's Kemba Walker, because he didn't play enough games for me to even place the blame on him. Truth be told, it could be anywhere from Julius Randle being a fourth option.
That's where we stop right there. We stop it right there. Julius Randle. It's Julius Randle. You said it. I don't expect Mitchell Robinson to drop double-digit points and double-digit rebounds. RJ Barrett has been doing his best, and everybody else around him. Derrick Rose has been hurt most of the year, so
the whole year,
the most improved the whole year. So the most improved player, or the most improved player should still be improving on that season, but he's not playing good, and then he doesn't know how to take criticism. He's not buying into the defense. No, none of them are buying into the defense, and it's looking like that. Like, how's Tom Thibodeau losing this team so quickly?
One-on-one players.
A different culture. I think this young generation of players don't really understand that defensive mindset, because we are going into a league now for the past couple of years that you see 100 and 126 points and 122 to 115, and the defense is kind of lost at that point, because if you're able to score 122 points in 4 quarters, that's a lot to me. And maybe because I come from a different generation, maybe I come from a place, and maybe Thibodeau comes from that same, hard-hitting defense, keeping it under 100. And it's hard to translate that in this new league. Honestly, that's not even interesting to look at anymore.
I think that the rule has always been first team to 100 usually wins, and you try to not get that, especially if you're a team that does not have a solidified scoring 1 and 2 threat. Right?
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be rough for the Knicks until the Knicks have to make trades and make pieces. But just go back to what we said about management. Who wants to play in New York?
Zion.
What a transition! What a transition into Zion. My problem with doing the whole Zion thing, Zion been hurt his first 2 years in the league.
Well, James Harden's been fat for the last 3.
Yes, and James Harden has been an MVP candidate the last 3 as well. So
my diet is all wrong. I don't understand how you could be a linebacker for at least a year and a half, and then you move to Philly, and literally in 2 weeks you're a cornerback. How the hell did it happen?
That's the difference between us and the rich, baby. We don't have those bad diets or those chefs that come in. Like, you never see those UFC guys, like they try to make weight, or boxing too. They cut to make weight above. They do unhealthy things that will kill any one of us. But they have special people to come and they monitor them. You could lose up to 7 pounds, 8 pounds in 3 days.
Yeah, that's a lot.
You have all that stuff at your disposal. We can't think they're not on our level.
It's crazy.
That's true.
And
Zion gonna need a lot of that.
It's a shame because James Harden looking the way he looks and finally looking like he's in shape or in a basketball mindset, it's pathetic to me, because that to me you gave up on your other teammates. One of these guys were your homies and on other teams, and it's because it's not the situation that you want, and you this and you that. You know, you give up on yourself and you give up on your team. I think that's trash to me. I think if you feel that way, then don't play at all.
Yeah, that was a whole move. We're gonna be real.
I told you so. That was some whole shit.
That was a whole move.
Stuff like that has really bothered me when it came to this generation of basketball players. It's a very selfish mentality. I feel like if the freaking NFL players felt this way and played this way and stuff like that, like we'd have a little bit more equality in the league. This very me thing, you know, there's no loyalty, and to be honest with you, like why be loyal to corporations too? I get that, but like you have 20 other guys on a roster, give or take, that I feel like you owe your loyalty to, whether you mess with the team politics or not. And I feel like I see a lot of me. LeBron did the me thing. Kyrie did the me thing. KD did the me thing. There's no such thing as franchise players really anymore. Somebody that's going to stick with a team and see it from growth through any evolution of where they're supposed to be. And I think that's kind of trash to me. And you leave other teams with the scraps. Like, look at the Knicks. There's no way they could ever get themselves together because nobody wants to play there. So it's like, unless you get somebody brand new to the league who has the skills of a LeBron, the skills of a KD and Steph Curry, you get what I'm saying? Like they're never gonna amount to these quote unquote super teams that are built just for vanity projects and not because of the love of the game and the love of the sport.
I think the only person we have right now that we can say is probably a homer right now is Giannis. We were killing Giannis before, because Giannis and Dame.
It's easy to be there when the team is on top. It's easy to be there. It's easy to be in Milwaukee when Milwaukee's doing great or doing good. They were always at the brink. They're not a team. They weren't a team these past couple of years. No matter how much we've dogged Giannis, they've always been at the brink recently. Last year they finally won, but like, see it through. Like you don't.
That's another one.
You don't think that all Lakers and stuff like the LeBrons and then they're gonna if they don't play off, they're gonna look for an exit strategy?
Yeah, when things get rough, people are ready to run to their friends.
Yeah, they it's trash to me, and it started with the Celtics.
Yeah. I mean, everybody thought that Garnett was going to be a Minnesota lifer, and then he got his way out and went to Boston, just like Tay.
They traded him. He didn't want to. They didn't want to give him no extra. They didn't want to give him no more money. They felt like he wasn't living up to the contract that he wanted. So he was like, "All right, cool, trade me to the Lakers." They ended up trading him to the Celtics, but he had a clause in his contract where he could have decided where he wanted to go. So I mean.
I'm saying I still say it started with that Celtics. It became less about teams and more about stars. That's what it became about.
Yeah.
You know, it's a different generation. Like Kobe stuck with the Lakers through feast and famine.
Yeah, you look at
Parker, bro.
You know, really, if we're gonna be honest, I mean, as much as people do hate them and as much as they are a super team, the only real super team that has been built organically in the last couple of years, outside of that 2 years where they made that trade, were the original trio of Golden State before Durant, right? Because they drafted Curry, who was there for a number of years and hurt. They drafted Clay. They got Draymond. Now they were an organic. They drafted those guys young. They stuck by Steph when Steph was injured. You know, they could have lost a lot on Steph if Steph had not turned into what Steph turned into. And
They'd have lost a lot if they kept Monte Ellis.
Right, and they built that team, you know, and then they made that trade for KD, and they went away from the organic style to, you know, then kind of trading into the super team. But they're really the only team that really kind of organically got built. The rest of them, as Tay is referencing, are all these trades to get how many stars can we get to play together, you know, and then people forget, oh, wait a minute, we need a bench. Oh, wait, you need people who can play another 15, 20 minutes a game.
Or the thing is, these teams are being built faster than a coach can handle.
Yeah.
The only super team I think that did it right was Miami as far as building their bench. Their bench is pretty dope.
The recent couple of years of Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have one of the deepest second units. No one else really has a second unit like that, because all the guys who would be bench players on these teams are star players in other markets.
Well, I think it's also, you know, to your point, Matt. Tay, you cut out, and I didn't mean to cut over you.
Yeah, and like what's his name? Julius Randle. He would be amazing on that Lakers second unit or on a different team. But now everybody's looking to him to be a first to play above his limits.
I told you, Tay, he a 20-ounce bottle. He getting paid like a 20-ounce bottle of Sprite, but he's a quarter water. I've been saying it. He's not what the Knicks paid him.
He's a great second. He'd be a great second option, but he's not a number one guy, and that's not anything to say on him. He's being paraded as something that he's not, and that's what's been going on these past few years. That's why the league is not, to me, as competitive as it used to be. You get what I'm saying? Like it's whatever to me.
So in other words, you're saying he's a tropical fantasy. He's not a quarter water. That's what you're telling me.
I'm saying is that whatever that damn drink was that was under tropical fantasy.
CNC?
Nah.
No, CNC was type sophisticated. I like CNC. I get CNC before I get tropical fantasy.
Yo, them bum dumbs, bro. They got me through the ringer, boy.
I gotta jump, guys.
All right, Queen.
All right, Tay. I'm sorry about coming in late. Tired as hell.
All right, thank you, guys.
But
later.
Matt, to your point, people took less money to play for LeBron and Wade, to play with them. Right, they took less money. They were willing to say, you know what, we'll make the sacrifice to play with you in order. And really notice that happened year 2, year 3, not that first year. That first year, they kind of had to makeshift that bench around. But that second year, once people realized, yo, this could be special, this might be something that could get me a championship, people were willing to play for dimes just to be on that bench and get a title.
I think the Golden, but I'm going to go back to what you said about the Golden State thing. I still think Golden State is still the only organic team that was, organically built. You also got to understand, it wasn't a trade for KD. It was more or less, it was a free agent signing, but it was more or less kind of like a signing trade. Yeah. So technically, KD went there on his own, you know. He went there because it was cap space.
Now y'all heard that's
from building a team organically.
And on top of that, Draymond took a lesser deal to make room for cap space.
Like the Warriors could look like this forever because they drafted these three.
Yeah.
Well,
when they got Wiggins on a Salvation Army bill.
Y'all saw that meme that was going around, right? About like how the Warriors could finish one last time on top.
They are.
They can finish 2-3 more times.
No, the meme going around with what LeBron said.
Oh, about LeBron. If they draft Bronny and bruh, that's too much.
Because Curry, LeBron has, because of the whole thing that LeBron has never lost a game when he's played with on the same team as Steph Curry.
They're not going to go 82 on the
All-Star.
Well, no, but that was the whole joke was LeBron has never lost a game where he's played on the same team as Steph Curry. So imagine if the Warriors were to draft Bronny and LeBron plays in Golden State with Curry.
Bro, they would draft Bronny for the
He could
year
shoot.
They would draft Bronny for a year just to get LeBron and then trade him someplace else. Bro.
He would fit to go to state. He can shoot and play defense. He's not he's not like an athletic presence or something like his dad, but he's a way better shooter.
He's gonna grow. I think he's gonna grow into that though.
Yeah, I seen probably like 2 games. They're streaming his games online. It's crazy, but you know, like
doing Bron.
I can't wait to see if that would have happened. I can't wait to see Matt's head explode with LeBron and Curry on the same team.
It depends. It also depends on which LeBron. You gotta look at it like this: you're getting damn near 40-year-old LeBron James, right? It's not like you're getting like a 42-year-old or 41-year-old Kareem who is 7'3" and is able to hook shot dog shit out of everybody. You're getting a 40-year-old LeBron who, by this time, is an okay shooter, but I don't want him shooting all the threes, especially in the Golden State system. He's not
have enough open looks to do it.
Right. He's not the best defensively, and then you still got to look at Draymond, Clay, and whatever else they have on that team.
Okay, but I know a man who was 39 years old, played 37 minutes a game, shot 45% from the field, and averaged 20 points.
Talking about
Michael?
Talking about Mike, right? LeBron can easily come off the bench.
On the Wizards?
Hold on, but LeBron come off. Well, you telling me LeBron does not have to be a number 1 offensive option. Is protected.
He's not technically supposed to be that with the Lakers.
But he's protected by Steph, by Clay, probably by his own son and Bronny, probably by whoever else they have around them, right? You're telling me LeBron can't go to Golden State, play 15, 20 minutes a game, and still be a solid player?
Bronny's going to be the Glove Jr. without the athleticism.
Talking about Bronny?
Yeah.
I think Bronny has that. He has that athleticism, but it's not like LeBron.
It's not like his father.
It's not LeBron, but it's probably gonna get close, but it's gonna be nothing.
And he's a lot smaller than his dad too. He's like 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, but he has time to. He's about to be in his senior season next year, and he has time to at least get to 6'5", 6'6". Imagine a 6'5", 6'6", like little like Kobe Bryant built like player. Bronny's built like young Kobe right now.
He can shoot. He can shoot his ass off.
He can shoot, play defense, and all of that. I think that the athleticism will come, but again, like we said, we're never going to see someone with the size, speed, and power, and all of that like we saw with LeBron.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No. Answer it.
The answer P question as far as LeBron and Steph Curry, I'm a Laker fan too, so I mean I got to deal with his freaking fans on the Lakers, and it's unbearable. So I mean, I'm pretty much I can handle him being in the church of Steph Curry. You know, it is what it is.
The Bay's not that bad. The Bay fans are not that bad, but we talked about size, speed, and athleticism, and we were going to talk about Zion in a moment, but we're going to talk about him now. Mr. Williamson is. Basically, he wants out of NOLA, and he'd be one of the first few people to force his way out on a rookie deal if he's able to get out. Because if I'm not mistaken, this is his second option year, right? Because he's
not too
been in the
sure.
league. If this is his third year, this is his second team option where the team can decide to keep him or let him go to free agency.
He can opt out. He can opt out. They have to make him. He could opt out.
No, it's a team. He can take other offers. It's up to the team to match it, but he can't opt out because he's on the team option.
Anybody stupid enough? The only team stupid enough to give this man a crazy ass deal is the Knicks. It's only the Knicks. Well, not only the Rockets. Probably
not only, but
the Rockets, Knicks, Toronto. I can't say Memphis because they don't need them because of Ja. Who else?
Ja Morant and a healthy Zion is AIDS to the league, bro. Like,
I honestly don't mess up that core. You're building towards something. They're doing good.
Yeah.
Aside from Ja Morant being hurt right now, they're doing pretty good. So,
and
like I said, I think
playing that game too.
Yeah, the only team that's dumb enough to give him that contract would be the Knicks.
But Pete, if you are New Orleans, right? Not any other team, but if you are New Orleans, what are you doing with Zion? Because Zion seems like he's pulling the James Harden. I can't speak because, again, we hate to be those people to be like, well,
he's not pulling the James Harden. Boy's just eating. The New Orleans food is great,
right? But what I'm saying is, you would hate.
Should have been there.
You don't want it to be that person to be like how people were with Ben Simmons, like, oh, his head is not in it, his heart is not in it. This is why he's doing what he's doing. But as New Orleans, if you're being around him, and JJ Redick also said it was somewhat of a character problem with him, and JJ Redick has a pretty good track record around the league, what would you do with Zion?
Speaking personally, just in my own personal philosophy, I'm very big on you signed a contract, you gonna play, right? So this is why I kind of respected a lot of what Daryl Morey was doing in Philly, right? I understood the urgency to want to get rid of Ben Simmons. I understood the urgency of wanting to get rid of the distraction, but I understood that Daryl Morey was holding pat to I want value for what I'm giving up. And I believe the same thing should hold for New Orleans. If you're going to have to trade Zion Williamson, you had better be getting top-tier value for Zion Williamson if you're going to trade him away. Otherwise, unless you can give me a documented medical reason why you cannot be on the court, you need to play. Or you're going to sit.
Fit his jersey.
Well, no, right now. But when we get to the beginning of next season, right, here's what I'm doing if I'm New Orleans right now. I am getting him all the best doctors. I am getting him all the best rehab personnel. I am getting him physical therapists. I'm getting him a dietitian. I am putting everything around him so that it does not fall on us, so that I can say we've done everything to prepare him, everything to put him in a position to be successful. This is now self-sabotage. You're going to get fined. We're going to recoup our money because I'm not going to pay you to sit there and be a malcontent. I'm just not going to do it. Now, if somebody want to trade for him, you better be ready to give me value.
Knicks. Give him the whole team.
What I'm not going to do is give him away and not get something in return that I can rebuild on. Now, if Zion Williamson is still the oft-injured, malcontent Zion Williamson he is right now, yes, the only team I can see trading for him and doing that is the Knicks. But
you want to go to?
If by any chance Zion Williamson shows even a glimmer of that talent, of that potential, that he can still play that way and still wants to play that way, if I'm a team that has a good culture, that has a good coach, that has a good general manager, I would make that trade. I would take that risk, but I would speak to Zion's camp first. And here's the logic I think about. I think while they're two completely different players, I think about Dennis Rodman to the Bulls.
I know where you're going with it.
Right?
I don't.
Nobody wanted to touch Dennis Rodman when he was in San Antonio. Nobody wanted to touch him, right? Jerry Krause, and his assistant GM took that chance because they said, listen, we can make it work here. We have the culture that can bring him in. We have the coach and Phil Jackson at that time who could work with him and give him the structure, but also the flexibility that he needs to be able to be successful. And if you think you have that as a team right now, that can bring Zion Williamson in and say, look, we can surround you with a good team. We can give you X, Y, and Z, right? We're willing to work with you. And if Zion is willing to come into that situation and work, I think you could make a trade and get the biggest steal of your life.
Well, Matt, what team, if you are New Orleans, what do you do? Do you kind of
trade them to the damn Knicks? They're the only team stupid enough to give up everything for him. They're the only team that still believes that he is this. Well, not really. They're not the only team that believes he's still that hype. But they're the only team that's willing to still pay him that amount of money and deal with his bullshit. The Knicks.
But what is everything? But what is
give up Randall. It's not like he's living up to that quota anyway. Give up Fournier. You can give up Kemba. They might end up giving up Mitchell Robinson too. It's just like I said, you do what you got to do. If he wants to come to the Knicks anyway. I don't know why, but he wanted to come to the Knicks from Gate.
Oh.
Same Knicks shit that always happens. We end up picking the wrong ball in the draft lottery and end up getting fucked. I don't think we had a good draft lottery since freaking Patrick Ewing.
No, y'all had a really good draft lottery and didn't pick Steph Curry.
I think the Knicks have made some bad picks over the years. That's been the thing. The Knicks have been in good positions, but have just made some really bad.
Did y'all pick wait, who did I pick up with Steph Curry? It was somebody. It was somebody the Knicks pick up with Steph Curry. Yeah.
I'll tell you right now.
Frank the Tank. Ntilikina.
Frank Ntilikina.
Oh man, that light skin. That light skinned dude made y'all pay. He made everybody. He made it.
Oh no, sorry, no, that wasn't it. Curry got picked before us in that draft, so that was the 2009 draft where Blake Griffin went number 1, Hasheem Thabit went number 2.
All right, we don't need to know. No. We don't need to hear the rest of the draft. We know.
We took Jordan Hill.
Even worse.
We could have taken the player that was taken right after us, by the way.
Who?
The Knicks picked 8 in that draft, took Jordan Hill. Toronto picked DeMar DeRozan next.
Good segue into DeMar DeRozan being lights out the past 8 games, and he has the 9th game coming up. Now, let me just give you the averages because we've seen what the points have been. Right?
Jordan Hill and Ntilikina, Kristaps just fucking.
Porzingis was a good draft pick, but
no, the fuck he wasn't. Stop. Just stop. Don't do it that we all do. No.
Let me give you DeMar DeRozan stats from Matt.
He was
buses up.
He was a good
Matt buses a blood vessel. DeMar DeRozan over the last 8 games has averaged 38.3 points, 5.7 rebounds, 5.2 assists on 62% shooting.
I'm a headache.
62% shooting. He's been a dog in the fourth quarter. He leads the league in fourth quarter points right now.
And the Knicks could have had that.
Once upon a time. To be fair, he wasn't doing this on the Spurs.
Nah, can I just ask
Toronto?
Before we go back to DeMar DeRozan real quick, yo, Matt, can I ask you a question though?
What?
Since the Knicks were picking 4th in 2015, right? You definitely weren't getting Okafor, D'Angelo Russell, or Karl Anthony Towns because you were picking 4th. Tell me, outside of Devin Booker, who everybody passed on until the Phoenix Suns at 13, were you taking Mario Hezonja, Willie Cauley-Stein, Emmanuel Mudiay, Stanley Johnson, Frank Kaminsky, Justice Winslow, Miles Turner, or Trey Lyles over Kristaps Porzingis in 2015? No, you were not. And nobody knew Devin Booker was going to turn into the star, and he did. That's why everybody
Porzingis wasn't going to be. We knew he wasn't going to be the great white hope that he turned out to be for the Knicks. We knew that.
But in a weak draft where everybody went the best players went 1, 2, and 3. The best players went 1, 2, and 3. And Devin Booker, now granted, Had the Knicks picked Devin Booker, I guarantee you, Devin Booker would not have turned into Devin Booker.
I don't know.
You got the best player at number 4.
He's not lying. Not around Carmelo Anthony. I doubt it.
You got the best player at number 4. But go back to DeMar DeRozan.
Is not nowhere stretch of the imagination. The best player, nothing at all.
Listen, I'd have still taken him over Andrea Bargnani, who went number 1 to the Raptors.
Jesus Christ. Okay, DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan. I hate that name, Andrea Bargnani. I hate it. So,
we ended up getting him too.
It does, yes. We got a lot of people in that with the
place where everybody comes to die or kill their career.
Everybody comes to die. Yes.
Shout out to Chase McGrady.
Shout out to Penny Hardaway. DeMar DeRozan.
Y'all seen Spreewell lately? Out here
DeMar
looking
DeRozan.
I can't even say what he out here looking like, but he looking like.
Yeah, don't say that. Don't say that.
DeMar DeRozan is the biggest fumble. The Knicks have fumbled the DeMar DeRozan bag not once but twice.
Well, let's take the Knicks out the equation. That's not the question I have. That's not the question I have. My question is now DeMar DeRozan your top 3 MVP candidate?
Top 2.
Over Joker and Embiid?
I think he's 1A, 1B with Embiid right now.
And
he's been consistently doing this.
He's been consistent. You got to remember that Joker is doing what he's doing as literally the only option in Denver. Everyone knows that the ball's going to Joker. Everyone knows that Joker has to carry that team, and he's still doing it. To me,
Pete,
him
who has the better record? Who has the best record?
Miami.
Who has the best record?
Miami doesn't Miami have the best record in the league right now?
No. We're talking about between the Nuggets and the Bulls. And
Chicago's the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference right now.
Phoenix has the number 1 record in the league.
And Chicago
next is Chicago.
League.
Chicago and Miami are tied for first.
Yes. Well, I think right now, Chicago.
They have a half a game over them.
Chicago.
They have a half a game over them.
Yeah, because Chicago owns the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
So,
but I'm asking you the question: who has a better record between DeMar DeRozan and Joker? And Embiid.
Well, DeMar DeRozan by 4 games. Sorry.
Right. So with that being said, who's being more valuable right now?
Hold up. So all of a sudden having a better record.
Answer the question. You got to answer the question.
That's a tough question.
That's not a tough question. That's not a tough question. Zach LaVine's hurt. Alex Caruso's hurt.
More in Chicago than there is in Denver.
That's a tough question, man.
I don't want to hear that. His whole team,
but his whole team wasn't hurt the whole season. His whole team wasn't hurt the whole season.
You had a battle right now.
The whole team wasn't hurt the whole season. I get what you're getting at.
Been going the whole season. Zach LaVine's been going for a good stretch.
Alex Caruso has not been going the whole season.
Practically the whole season.
Alex Caruso only been gone a month.
For the season. For the first 2 months of the season.
Been gone a month.
No, he hasn't. Listen, I had him on my damn fantasy team. You think I don't know how long he been gone?
Listen. You trying to paint
your damn fantasy team that's hurt. So
listen, you trying to paint mountains when all you got is a river, big boy. Let me tell you right now.
What conference is the most competitive right now? The Eastern Conference or the Western Conference?
If we're going by the conferences,
we're not answering the question.
I am. You're not letting me answer. You saying I'm not answering the question before I can answer the question. I said if we're going by that, yes, the Eastern Conference is the most competitive conference right now. If that's your argument, cool.
But what we would say,
if that's your argument, cool. I understand because that's how they vote for MVPs anyway, based off winning record, not exactly by stats.
But you want to look at it like this, right?
LeBron James will be the MVP every year.
But he's
the most valuable.
Let's talk about MVPs, right? Exactly. Let's talk about MVPs and let's use the definition of most valuable, right? Mm-hmm. Could you take DeMar DeRozan off the Chicago Bulls and they still have a winning record and be in the playoff chase?
And the playoff chase, or are you talking about where they're at right now?
No. Can they be in the playoff chase in the Eastern Conference?
No.
Absolutely
I don't think they'll be in the playoff chase. No.
Hell no. Because they had the same team last year with Zach LaVine, and they were struggling.
Except for Caruso and Lonzo. But then again, they're not playing.
Yeah. So if it's just Zach LaVine, they'll get to the playoffs, but they're not looking like a title contender.
Here's the question. Which team would you rather have right now? The Denver Nuggets without Nikola Jokic or the Chicago Bulls without DeMar DeRozan?
The Chicago Bulls without DeMar DeRozan.
Bang. Because you can eliminate DeMar. I'm out.
Are you talking about right now with them not playing?
Let me finish. Let me finish. Maybe I'll answer your question. Let me answer your question.
I'm trying to answer it for you. Dre answered it.
I didn't finish what I was saying, though, right? I didn't finish
the question. I didn't answer it.
Right? Because you could take DeMar DeRozan off the Chicago Bulls and still have a competitive team, you could not take Jokic off the Denver Nuggets and have anything resembling a competitive team. Nikola Jokic is much more valuable to the Denver Nuggets than DeMar DeRozan is to the Chicago Bulls.
So what Matt is asking is if how the teams are currently constructed, not if we're taking out the Lonzo Ball, we're taking out the health, we're taking the health factor into account. Because right now, the Bulls' second option is hurt, the Bulls' third option is hurt, the Bulls' fifth option is hurt. The Nuggets' only option would not be there. The
both
second option
out,
is
right?
hurt. Yeah.
Isn't Porter out as well?
Yes, the second and third options are out. So what he's saying is, if we're putting the teams currently constructed out, would you choose the Nuggets or the Bulls?
Yes, and I'd still take the Bulls because they have more coming back. Even when those guys get healthy, they've got more coming back, right? You still got LaVine coming. You got LaVine. You've got Lonzo. You've now got Vujacic. You've got Kobe White on the bench, right? You've got Caruso. Okay, you know they just signed Tristan Thompson to be extra muscle there, right? They have weapons outside of DeMar DeRozan. And see, that's what makes DeMar DeRozan so good. DeRozan has always been good when he can fade into the background of a good team and be the best player.
I don't agree with that because he wasn't that with Toronto.
I can't agree with that either. Go ahead, Matt.
As far as the statement with the whole, like, Denver has a trash team. They got Will Barton, they got DeMarcus Cousins, they got Aaron Gordon, they got Jeff Green, they got JaMychal Green. They have a team. They just are surrounded by Joker. No, but I'm saying it's more than just stars. That's what y'all look at. Y'all look at the stars in the name, but they have a team around him that are doing well in that system. Now that Michael Porter Jr. is gone and what's the name? Jamal Murray. They got Austin Rivers. They got bodies there that are capable of playing, that are in the same range as the Chicago Bulls without their stars. So I mean, I can't definitively say, I would just Chicago. I would rather be on Chicago. Of course, I would rather be on Chicago. I would rather be on Chicago. Yeah, because you know what the hell is coming back. They're gone, but they've been gone for a minute. But they're coming back. We don't know if Michael Porter Jr. is coming back. I don't even know when the fuck Jamal Murray coming back. We was thinking he was gonna be back for the season.
Nah, he
ain't come back yet.
Yeah, he tore his ACL, so you know how that goes.
So let's be really honest right here. Dre, you said that you couldn't agree with me on the DeMar DeRozan point, right?
Fading in the background because he didn't do that in Toronto.
Time out. DeMar DeRozan is averaging how many points this year? Do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head.
28.3 points per game. Do you know when he ever got close to this in his career?
When?
2016, 2017, when he averaged 27.3 points per game. In the seasons between then and now, he dropped to 23, 21, 22, and 21 and a half. His two best seasons in scoring average have been 2016, 2017, and 2021, 2020, 22. Now, when you look at the 16-17 Raptors, okay, you had a much younger Serge Ibaka. You had Kyle Lowry. You had
how much was Kyle Lowry averaging?
Kyle Lowry that year?
Yes. How much was Kyle Lowry averaging? averaging that year.
I'll tell you right now.
If we're going to compare the teams,
22.4, his best year.
Right, and Zach LaVine is averaging almost the same amount as
right. But what I'm saying is, if you look at right, but you had that was Van Vliet's rookie year. You had Valanciunas, you had PJ Tucker, you had Siakam's rookie year, you had Terrence Ross, you had Lowry, you had Serge Ibaka, you had DeMar DeRozan. Right, he did. He was able to sit back. And he didn't have to worry about, he didn't have to worry about being the biggest star on the team. He was, but he had so much help around him that he was able to do it quietly. Okay, once the spotlight got put on DeMar DeRozan in Toronto and everybody started looking at him as the number one option, is when DeMar DeRozan started kind of falling back. He fell back from 27 points to 21 points to 22 points, back to 21 and a half. Then he goes to San Antonio, right? In San Antonio, he goes 22, 21 and a half, right? And then he goes up to 28. When he is surrounded with a strong team, he is able to be the number one option because everybody's sagging off of him. He's a very good player. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying DeMar DeRozan is not a great player. But what I'm saying is, look at the situations that he's in. When the spotlight is on him to be the great player, he falls off. But when guys are sagging off of him and he's got a lot of help, like he's got this year in Chicago, he's able to put up big numbers quietly.
So what's the difference between him and Joker? Because Joker was basically the same way. Because when Joker doesn't have the sufficient help, Joker's not an MVP candidate.
Right.
The only person out of the names we mentioned who would be good and is still in the MVP talk, the only two names that we can mention if we're going to go by that logic is probably Embiid and Giannis.
Correct.
We can't go by that logic because somebody has help. If we want to go, if we want to be real about the most valuable player award, again, the most valuable player to the team, again, LeBron should have 8 MVPs right now.
Well, how many did
consecutive MVPs?
Jokic has played this entire season without Murray, correct?
Yes, only without Murray and Porter. But again, like Matt
Porter
said,
went out a couple months ago, or like 2 months ago.
So right now, and you would say like last year. Last year, how many games did Murray miss last year? He didn't miss much last season.
Yeah, he missed the whole season last year.
Murray was out all of last season? I don't think so.
Yes, he got hurt in the bubble.
Okay. So last year, Jokic averaged 26.4 points, 10.8 rebounds, 8.3 assists a game in 72 games. This year, in 53 games, he's averaging comparable amount of points, 26 points a game, down by a half a point. He's averaging 3 more rebounds, up to 13.8 a game. And he's averaging slightly less assists at 7.9. I would say, even though everyone knows the ball's going to Jokic, everyone knows he's the number one option, far and away, Nikola Jokic is showing that he is the most valuable player on not only that Nuggets team, but in my opinion, he is. You can make the argument for Embiid, and I can almost say that unless Embiid or Jokic do anything to really pull away, I could kind of see them being co-MVPs at the end of the year, and I wouldn't have an argument with it.
Well, because of the voting, that can't happen. But I get what you're saying. Matt, again, your final thoughts on this before we move forward.
And I wonder how hard it's going to affect that, by the way.
That's going to affect it a lot because
he has
a second option now. But,
is that going to drop Embiid's numbers? You know what I mean?
No, it's not because it's the Shaq and Kobe effect now. But Harden is a more no. Listen, no. Listen, I said the Shaq and Kobe effect. What I'm saying is, when Kobe wasn't on, who could he throw the ball to?
Shaq.
When Harden is and dancing around and being Harden, Who can he pass it to? The most dominant player in the league right now. No, fuck you. Talk about Tobias Harris, bro. Yo, what? Yo,
and he's already listen.
Embiid is only talking about Tobias Harris.
Embiid is only 4 games away from matching how many games he played the last 2 seasons. Right? He only played 51 games in 1920. Obviously, the shortened season, and only played 51 games last year. He's already at 47, and all of his stats across the board, rebounds, assists, and points, have all gone up this year.
Like I said, all I'm saying is don't be surprised if DeRozan wins the MVP. Again, a lot of people have been sleeping on DeMar DeRozan because he was in Toronto, and that's what it was. And it's funny how everybody forgets that Toronto was good solely because of DeRozan. They just swapped DeRozan and put Kawhi Leonard there. And who's to say that if DeRozan stayed that year, that they wouldn't have won the title? Look at all the things that happened in that lead up to the finals. Like, come on. Like, Embiid got hurt. Giannis was lackluster, and they've beaten Milwaukee already in the playoffs. And then Kevin Durant and Klay went down. So I mean, they could have won the whole thing, but everybody's glorifying Kawhi Leonard for it, which he deserves. Don't get me wrong, because he played stellar. But DeMar DeRozan was just as good as you said, because this is what the year after his breakout year that you was talking about, where he averaged 28 and all that other crap, right? Okay, then. So again, I think it's just laughable because he's not as flashy as everybody. He's a mid-range killer. He kills everybody in the mid-range. He's not a bad three-point shooter, but his game is solely in the mid-range. So I mean, like I say,
not this year, but yeah.
I guess the one question I have is, we've mentioned DeRozan, we've mentioned obviously Embiid, we've mentioned Nikola Jokic. I find very interestingly somebody who's not being brought up in the conversation is Steph Curry. And don't be surprised if Steph Curry sneaks in and wins that MVP award out of nowhere.
Klay Thompson is back. That's a dub for that. Yeah,
Steph ain't even thinking about that shit. He's like, yo,
we want the finals.
Yeah, that's what we want. Steph Curry and that core thinks like a championship team. They think like, all right, we start off hot just to get everything going and getting that unity. But we're gonna put it on to these young dudes and get them there, get their reps in, get their confidence going. Because when we get into the playoffs, it's a whole nother. We got to be able to rely on you. And then you got what's his name? Freak. What is the tall dude name? What is the tall kid's name? Wiseman. Yeah.
Wiseman might get
back.
Yeah, Wiseman might get traded.
Right now, according to basketballreference.com, the top 3 are Jokic, Giannis, and Embiid in that order, according to basketballreference.com.
Yes, and I would assume because basketball reference is more more numbers than eye test. There's more it's more numbers than eye test, and Giannis realistically is in the MVP conversation. He's in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation.
I mean, his numbers are like Embiid's. 29.4 points per game. Embiid's got 29.7. They both average 1.4 blocks and 1 steal a game. Giannis actually averaging 6 assists to Embiid's 4.5. And Giannis has 11.2 rebounds to Embiid's 11.1. So realistically, their stats.
This goes by the record then now. Now this would go by, if it ended up between them two, they're looking like, who's the number 1 seed? Who's the number 2 seed? Who's whatever seed?
Right now, it's a 1-game difference. Giannis is 36-24, Embiid is 36-23.
Don't they got to play each other again?
Giannis is about to backslide. Like his team is about to backslide. No, I said Giannis. No, I said they're going to back. Milwaukee's going to backslide. A lot of these teams are coming back healthy. Let's be realistic.
Miami is basically fully loaded now.
Chicago's on the verge of being fully loaded again.
Yeah, Chicago's about to be fully loaded.
And they spanked Milwaukee with the subpar team that they got.
And then losing teams like and the teams that kind of sneaky and play good on certain nights, like a Washington, that will that will smoke you for whatever reason, and a Boston that we can't forget about those two kids in Boston. They're not gonna make a deep run, but still, like you can't. I think Boston is kind of they'll fuck somebody's like playoff hopes up.
And the Nets are gonna get healthy. The Nets are gonna get healthy, and that team. That team could be scary. It really depends on what they're going to get out of Ben Simmons. If Kyrie is going to be able to play full time, but they have on paper, in my opinion, the Brooklyn Nets have the most dangerous starting five in the league. And if they were to click on all cylinders, it's hard to beat them. The problem is we haven't seen them click on all cylinders too often. And yeah, Cleveland's got a sneaky good team as well.
Yeah, they play with all centers and 2 guards, bro. This shit worked. It worked because of they're able to get all around the court, and then Garland is really good. Garland's going to should get most improved.
Goran Dragic is playing tonight, right? KD is expected to be back next week, right?
Yeah.
Ain't no telling how long it's going to be for this mandate to get thrown away or whatever the case may be. Ben Simmons is expected to be back, I think, from when I heard, a Milwaukee game. If not Milwaukee, I'm hearing the Sixers. I don't recommend he come back for the Sixers.
I don't think he's gonna. I don't think the Sixers should be his first game.
I don't think so either. If he does come back, and I think that'll be the ultimate statement on where he is mentally, right? So I mean, again, Brooklyn got all the pieces necessary. Remember all the shit that Pete was talking for like a good year and a half. You Pete, and Tay about they lacking this, they don't have this, they got all.
They have it wasn't shit talking. It was real life.
It was
real. It was real life. Matt, you was talking along with us like, yo, they don't have this either.
I was just shitting on them though. That's what I wasn't doing. I had faith.
And the funny thing is,
you were talking shit about their shitty ass roster.
Listen, and this is the thing. What a lot of people don't realize is that getting Seth Curry really helps in a major way that no one's really talking about.
I talked about it.
Hold
on. Yeah.
It allowed. I'm not saying that you didn't talk that getting him was good. This is what I'm getting at.
Great.
Getting Steph Curry is a really great thing for them because it allows Joe Harris to take his time in coming back.
Oh, I forgot about Joe Harris. Oh, man. Nah, he can get traded. It's cool.
No, listen.
After the way he played in Milwaukee, fuck him.
Listen.
I'm so aggravated. I hope we get Milwaukee in the first round. I'm praying they get a 15.
The Nets have 3. Okay, in my opinion, they have 3 very good shooters in Harris, Patty Mills, and Curry, who can come off the bench and
Kevin Durant and Kyrie.
I'm not talking about the stars.
Hold on, yeah.
You said shooting. I'm just saying.
But I'm talking about guys that are coming off. You're gonna put Durant on the bench, 20 minutes a game, 15 minutes a game.
You didn't say the bench. You said shooting. You gotta be specific.
They have 3 very good shooters who can come off that bench, who can come off into that second unit and still be as good as players that could be in the first unit. Okay, they've got shooting on the bench now. I'm still a little worried about their big men because Drummond's like 1,000,000 years old. Aldridge has been hurt. Claxton is great but young, and Blake is 1,500.
I'm mad you said great and young. Shout out to Cam Thomas. That's who we really need to talk about. Cam Thomas, thank you. Come on, Pete. You fucking up.
Well, Cam has been good.
Cam Thomas not going to get no run in the playoffs, though.
Says who?
Look at your team and tell me how much run this man going to get.
He's going to get some run.
You will have in the playoffs, mandate lifted or not, Kyrie Irving, Seth Curry, Goran Dragic, Joe Harris,
Ben Simmons,
Andre Johnson. We're not sure he coming back.
We're going based off like if Joe Harris comes back.
It's a big if. That's a big if.
Listen, it's not too big of it. It's not too big of an if. Andre Drummond, Claxton, Blake still.
I don't think he's starting.
Who? Claxton?
I don't think he's gonna play. I don't think he's
gonna. No, Claxton's gonna play. Claxton has to be in the rotation because Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond gonna be ass. Andre Drummond gonna turn ass. You know this, y'all. Let's
hey, you think Claxton is gonna be the savior? Giannis was fucking horsing the shit out of him.
How many people does Giannis not horse?
Well, you think about it, Giannis.
That's not fair.
Giannis, Jared Allen, freaking Joel Embiid. He's gonna get horsed.
Listen, nobody care about Jared Allen. Nobody care about Jared Allen. On offense, nobody care about Jared Allen.
Listen, let me be honest. I'm a Nets fan. I am a Nets fan from way back in the day. I want them to win a title, but I'm not gonna hold you. I'm sorry. Unless something drastic changes, my money's on Phoenix or Golden State.
Oh,
I love Brooklyn. I want them to win the title. I would love them to bring the chip to the Nets.
Versus Miami.
I don't even want to see
but right now, my money's on.
It got to be KD versus Steph Curry.
No. I want niggas who gonna play defense against them. I don't want to see niggas. I don't want to see a shootout and the first person to miss lose.
Talking about Goran Dragic and Ben Simmons is gonna be on.
You gonna put Goran Dragic? I'm about to say you gonna put Goran.
Ben Simmons is on Steph Curry duty.
About to say you gonna put Goran Dragic on Steph Curry?
Hell no.
You gonna be fired.
You put what? Durant on Clay?
You gonna put him on Clay?
You put Durant on Clay?
No.
You putting Dragic on Clay?
Probably not.
Okay. We just worry about that.
But Durant's your next best defender. I would put Durant on Clay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
What, Brown or something like that? What's his name?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, size-wise, size-wise and wingspan-wise, just because of how high Clay can get up, I'm putting Durant on the perimeter on Clay.
Durant's not going to want to chase him around. Once Durant get hit by Draymond one time, first of all, they might start fighting. Second of all,
I need that energy. I need all that energy.
Yeah. Second of all, Draymond Green's gonna set a hard enough screen where KD's gonna be like, "Nah, I'm good." After a while, so
that's why I fucking left you bitches.
Yo, we have a couple more things to get to. The first thing, that's funny.
What? But Bruce Brown can hold
play.
Well, not. I'm saying hold. Nobody.
He's not gonna hold. He gonna make like a smidge bit difficult for it, but he's not holding Clay. But the next thing we want to talk about is this garbage juice ass dunk contest, and we're not gonna spend too much time on this. Probably less than 2 minutes on this. I said this a while ago. We need to not have NBA dunkers in this dunk contest no more. Or if we're going to have NBA dunkers, have them go up against these street dunkers who actually want to perform and entertain. I did not want to see. Huh?
You should have just took the clip. It was. I remember the episode. It was the episode.
I don't have to clip it, I deleted all that stuff.
No, it's on Yerrr, not the other shit. I'm talking about it's on Yerrr. That was one of the last episodes that we had Larry on it. It was me, you, Larry, and Wilkins. That was when we talking about sucking toes and shit.
Embarrassed.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The NBA does not want their players to get embarrassed. If they put those street dunkers out there for the All-Star game, for All-Star weekend, the NBA players, I hate to say this, the NBA players going to get embarrassed, okay? They're going to be
and then the Players Association gonna be bitching and moaning.
Yeah. And it's so sad because listen, we grew up on some iconic dunk contests. Okay, we grew up with MJ out there, Daryl Dawkins out there, with Kobe out there, with Vince out there, with all these guys, all the names that were out there, just iconic dunk contests. I mean, listen, as much as I hated it, Blake jumping over a car was better than this.
Barely jumped over a car.
Second jumped over the hood.
Right. I'm just like, I remember when Nate Robinson was out here winning the dunk contest. That's still better than what they're doing right now.
But to be fair, he went against Dwight Howard.
You know,
I mean, is Dwight Howard jump as high as damn Sean Kemp? So, like,
I got no problem. I got no problem with secondary players and bench players getting run in the dunk contest if they're going up against names and they end up surprising the names, right? Because again, you get Nate Robinson beating Dwight Howard, you're like, okay, that's interesting. But when it's Nate Robinson beating number 13 on the Portland Trailblazers bench, why do I care? You know, for this, get some of the retired players. I'm sure they can ice their knees up for one night.
Vince Carter would do a better job in his dunk contest. That just happened.
Listen, Nick won it.
You know, it's ridiculous what the dunk contest.
Bunch of Knicks. That's what the Knicks known for what a dunk contest.
It's sad. It's sad what the dunk contest has turned into, considering how iconic it was for when we were growing up.
Garbage juice. I don't want to talk about
it. So they did Zach LaVine.
No, you saw what they did to damn Aaron Gordon.
Twice.
Can we go to the next topic?
Robbed that man twice.
Man. Jesus.
The only thing that was more disappointing, I forget who it was. I think he was a Celtics player. I forget what year it was.
Jerry Green?
No. Somebody, he put a piece of black tape behind the 3-point line and made everybody think he was going to jump from behind the 3-point line and then couldn't get off the ground. I mean, he had all of the announcers going up. Magic was like, if he jumped from there, I'm leaving the gym. And he couldn't get the air that he wanted, and then he just went with a whack dunk, and everybody was like, wow, that was deflating.
Or like Darryl Armstrong doing layups in the dunk contest. 2016 was the last great dunk contest. Great. The Aaron Gordon and Derrick Jones Jr. one was really good. But the last great one was Levine and Gordon.
Yeah.
Levine, Gordon won.
That was the last time I watched the All-Star. The last time I watched the All-Star, Bert.
Ooh, okay. So, second to last topic. If you are Lamar Jackson and you don't got your contract, based on what happened with these damn Cowboys and Dak, are you playing this season?
No. Hell no. I'm sorry, I'm not leaving my bed. I'm getting lifted to every room in the house. I'm not doing shit.
So you'll come out like James Harden, bro? Like,
bro. So I signed that contract. I'm not doing shit. Why should I do? I lead your team in rushing. You should have gave me my contract when I was getting carted the hell off the field. Sick of this shit. Look at what Dak got. Dak is the example on why I wouldn't do shit until I get my contract. Boy, luckily, nobody really wanted to go to Dallas. So Jerry had no choice but to give him that money. That he would have got scrutinized from everybody that was black, because we would Black Lives Matter, and we would have definitely burnt some shit in Dallas. I said what I said. I don't care. I'm not mad about what I said. I believe it too. We would have burnt some shit in Dallas. But point blank, if I'm Lamar Jackson, I ain't throwing a ball. I'm not even touching bacon because it could be a reference to pigskin. I'm not doing a damn thing until I get my goddamn contract. I'm eating turkey bacon. Does that count as pigskin? That's not pigskin. Pete. All right, cool. Yeah, turkey bacon.
Pete.
I do play it out because I think Lamar Jackson still has a lot to prove.
So he gets hurt.
I think Lamar Jackson still has a lot to prove.
So did Dak Prescott.
Right. Now listen, don't get me wrong. I'm not going out there, obviously listen. Football's a game where you could go out. Listen, he can get the big contract and get hurt in preseason and God forbid.
It's guaranteed. And it's guaranteed.
No.
That shit was guaranteed. That shit was guaranteed.
NFL money. The only player with a fully guaranteed contract in the history of the NFL is Kirk Cousins.
Which is sad. Fucking Kirk
Cousins. I don't know if we spoke about it, but Kirk Cousins management team.
Something.
Kirk Cousins management team is elite.
He's white.
Is elite.
He's white.
Anyway,
let me see here. So the only fully guaranteed NFL contract is
not fully guaranteed, but he's getting something. He's getting a big
right now. The most guaranteed money in a quarterback's contract is Josh Allen.
Exactly.
And he has $150 million guaranteed.
Out of how much?
I don't know. Hold on. 150 million guaranteed. Out of 258 million.
Yep.
So that's more than
half.
That's almost 3/4. That's more than 3/4 of the contract.
Patrick Mahomes has 141.5 million guaranteed out of 450 million.
141 out of what?
450.
Well, he also has like a Hulk Hogan type contract in on the Chiefs. So
Aaron Rodgers has a $134 million contract and only had 98.7 million guaranteed.
It's more than half.
Okay, so you're not gonna get all of the guaranteed money. I don't know. Listen, but here's the thing: do you give Lamar Jackson a contract that reaches Pat, Allen?
Yes.
Dak?
Hell yes.
I think maybe he
gets a Dak more than Dak. He's done more than Dak.
I think maybe he gets a Dak contract. Dak's got 160.
Fuck that. Nope.
Dak has 160.
Fuck that. No. I lead your team in rushing and I'm the quarterback. Give me my goddamn Josh Allen money. I want 6 years for 280. Fuck that.
I don't know if he's worth 6 years at 280.
What? Pete, you bugging, bro.
That money.
Your hate for Lamar Jackson has got to stop. It has to stop.
I see what Pete is saying, but I also think that I think that 300. I think that contract is going to end up not being bad down the line because NFL is always getting money someplace. Magic.
Here's the thing: the guaranteed money costs against the cap. So the more guaranteed money they give him, the less cap space they have to get him help.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been doing a great job at that, huh?
That's the thing.
So why would you sign him for all that money if you ain't gonna get his ass no help?
Exactly. What they're gonna try to do, if I'm Baltimore, what you're gonna try to do is you're gonna try to get him a contract where I would present two options. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Give him a short-term deal, high money, short-term, mostly guaranteed that you can save some money on your cap and get him some players and then give him more money in a little while. Or you're going to have to sign him to a longer-term deal, but you're going to have to give him less guaranteed money, and that might be less enticing. If I'm Lamar Jackson, I take a 1-year deal, high value on the money. Listen, high value on the money. If I'm Lamar,
I see what you're about to say. Yes.
I take high value on the money in a 1-year deal. I bet on myself, and I put myself out there next year as a free agent. Because let me tell you something. If Aaron Rodgers has got 1 more year, Russell Wilson's got maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 more years. Top level, right? A lot of these top level quarterbacks are aging out. So you put yourself in prime position to be the middle of the bidding war because now you've got 4, 5, 6 teams that are willing to offer you top money.
All right, I can't be mad at that. I like that idea. That's only Lamar Jackson.
The other part of that, if I'm also Lamar Jackson, I'm like, okay, I'll play with you this year. Now show me what you're gonna do. Show me what you're gonna do with the team. And if you don't do to what I'm liking, cool. That's on y'all. Y'all stuck with whatever y'all decide to do. I'm gonna go do my thing in free agency. Peace out. Thank you for the break.
How many top level quarterbacks you got left? You got Josh Allen. You got Justin Herbert. You got Patrick Mahomes. Stafford's got what? Maybe another 3-4 years left. Maybe.
You got everybody in the AFC.
I give him 2 only because of the length of the contracts on that team.
Right. You'd say what? Rodgers has as much as maybe 3 years left.
I think he's about to retire.
Right.
I think he has a good year and a half to where he'll do this again, and it also depends on the team.
Right. Russ has got a couple of good years left, depending on the offensive line you give him. But the number of top-level quarterbacks in the NFL, and I would put Lamar Jackson a bit above Dak Prescott. I do agree with you there, Matt, because Lamar – I think
he is a former MVP, Pete. Give that man his respect. Dak Prescott ain't never been no damn MVP.
You're right. That's why I said I put him.
He's been close.
Boy don't even know the damn rules of the goddamn game.
Terrible.
13 seconds.
He don't.
I'm mad you're even doing this. You disrespecting Lamar Jackson. You got to relax.
But listen.
Stop it.
Listen. If I'm Lamar Jackson, I'm putting myself out there. When that quarterback market is because listen, there's not a lot of big name quarterbacks out there that are left. You never know what you're getting in the draft. And this year is supposed to be a really weak draft class. So you set yourself up to be the number 1 quarterback on the free agent market. And a lot of teams need a quarterback. Hell, think about this. What if the Rams can keep that offensive line together, and then you get somebody like Lamar Jackson and team him up with Cooper Kupp?
Yeah, that's sick. That'd be like giving Michael Vick some solid receivers like he had in Philly.
Right.
So the only difference is Michael Vick was 200 years old, fresh out of lockdown.
I mean, how many franchise quarterbacks do we really have right now?
Patrick Mahomes, Herbert, Josh Allen. I wanted to say Burrow. Yeah, Burrow definitely.
I gotta give it Burrow now for real.
I want to say Kyler Murphy, but who knows what
I don't know. We rolling the dice on Kyler Murray right now.
I don't know what that's gonna go.
Herbert, Burrow, that's 3. Mahomes is 4. Allen is 5. You could say Murray is 6. Stafford is 7.
Don't say Carson Wentz because he's not.
No, Dak would be 8. Russell is 9.
Baker Mayfield isn't.
Lamar is 10. I'm not willing to put Mac Jones up there yet.
Next year though.
I'm not willing to put Mac Jones up there yet. I'm not ready to say that. I mean, you could say Kirk Cousins is the franchise quarterback.
Can we leave?
No.
Can we leave? Kirk Cousins. Stop.
No. We're tired of Kirk Cousins. We are tired of him.
But when you think about that. Think about how that list
is Ryan Fitzpatrick.
No, but think about how that list sounds though. We mentioned all those quarterbacks, and then the next 2 best names on the list were Kirk Cousins and
Jimmy G.
and Derek Carr.
Derek Carr. Oh, I forgot about Derek Carr.
Right.
About Jimmy G. Trash ass.
Right. I'm not ready to say that Mac Jones is the franchise quarterback, but I'll be very honest with you. If you're telling me I have a good team and Derek Carr is my quarterback or Kirk Cousins is my quarterback, I feel better than if you told me Trevor Lawrence is my quarterback or Josh Fields or Tyler Heineke. I feel a lot better with Kirk Cousins and Derek Carr.
Tyler Heineke. All right. Derek Carr was a man this year with everything.
Yeah, I said Derek Carr, not Kirk Cousins.
But the very last topic, Pete, lead us off about the MLB and them not coming to an agreement.
Well, the Players Union and Major League Baseball still have not been able to come to an agreement on a new CBA. The league has put a deadline for Monday for if them and the union cannot come to some agreement that they're going to have to start canceling games into the season. Now, this would be the first time that the MLB and the union have gone into a lockout where there's been a threat of canceled games, because the last time they just pushed the start of the regular season back and made up time in the regular season. But now the Major League Baseball is threatening we will have to cut games. And the biggest thing with that is if Major League Baseball cuts games from the schedule, because of the bylaws of Major League Baseball contracts, even if the season is 148 games, it doesn't count as a full season. It has to be 162 games to count as a full season. So guys that are on guaranteed money will not get their fully guaranteed contracts for the season. They'll get restructured money. So they're really, they're playing hardball right now, is the MLB with the union. There's been a lot of things that have been going on right now. Spring training has basically been canceled.
Spring training is a dub, and like you said, the season could be a dub as well if they don't get this together, which it's not looking like they will at 48 hours.
Yeah, and like I said, salary will not be paid for any missed games. So if they cut the season, players will not get their full season salaries. Apparently the sides are still very far apart. The union has allowed for expanded playoffs, but the thinking is that if the MLB decides that they're going to not play players for a full season for a shortened season, then they're going to pull expanded playoffs off the table. The union wants minimum salaries to begin at $775,000. The league is only offering $640,000 with $10,000 raises for every year. The union wants $115 million into the bonus pool for pre-arbitration players. The league is offering $20 million. So there's a bunch of things that they're still very far apart on: competitive balance tax, revenue sharing, the draft, service time manipulation, which has always been a big thing. But again, this is the first time that they've had a lockout, that they've threatened to cut games from the schedule.
Well, if they cut games from the schedule, these players won't be getting paid, which will become another problem down the line, whether they agree to a deal or not.
In 1990, when this happened, they did a whole bunch of double headers to make up for missing games, so that there was still a full 162 game season.
Do you think that could work now in the quote unquote COVID era of baseball, to where people are, you got to take that into effect too, because even though we're quote unquote getting out of the pandemic, sometimes still coming, and these variants are very elusive.
It could work, but the MLB doesn't want to do it. That's the thing. It could still work, but Major League Baseball is playing hardball.
Wouldn't that be more money though in TV and TV revenue as well if you're playing double headers?
You're gonna get the same amount of money, because instead of playing, for example, you're still giving the same amount of games. Not like you're adding more games.
Mm-hmm.
But again, this is just Major League Baseball playing hardball and be like, listen, this is how we want to do it. And, unfortunately, this is what happens when you have rich kids yelling at each other. Because you got rich people on one side and rich people on the other side. And unfortunately, with baseball, unlike with basketball and football, the players are really rich, right? Players got a lot of money in baseball. They also have a lot of power.
Players get a lot of money from, because there's no cap room. They just throw money at people.
I'm going to be very real with you. It's a lot easier to get replacement players to play basketball and to play football than it is to get replacement players to play baseball.
Right, because they have to go through the system to come up.
You know, and also it's like it's a larger team you got to field. I mean, football's got a large team, but like you've got all these players who are playing in the CFL, the XFL, college, guys who never made the league. I guarantee you there are thousands of players where if the NFL couldn't come to an agreement with the players, like, yo, y'all want to play football? I'm there.
Yeah, you can walk on and try on an NFL team.
Right.
You know,
a lot harder to be a walk-on baseball player. Listen, Matt could probably play in the NBA and the NFL before he could hit a 90-mile-per-hour fastball. I'll be real with you.
You muted, Matt.
I played baseball. I played all three sports my whole life. Baseball has always been the harder sport to play.
Unmute yourself, Matt. I know you were about to say something.
I said I got one bad accident in baseball, and I never decided to play baseball again. I got hit in the throat. That was it for me.
Woo!
No, your reflexes are garbage. How'd you get hit in the throat?
Yeah,
I didn't see it coming. No, I wasn't a pitch. I was on first base.
Oh yeah, I don't want to play first base. Sorry, I play in the outfield. I ain't playing in first base.
I lost the rock paper.
Yeah, and you got hit by the rock. Sure.
But no, it's a lot easier, I think. You know, we could suit up and play ball. We could suit up and play football. You know, football is the most physically demanding on the body, obviously. Basketball, obviously there are athletic talents that you just need to have. But, you know, you've seen guys who are 5'1", 5'2", play basketball, right? There are dudes that are just really good, right? When you're really good, you're really good. Baseball, it's so much harder to play. People really underestimate how cerebral and how hard it is to be really good to play baseball. In baseball, you have to understand this is a sport where failing 7 out of 10 times is regular. That's good.
Yeah, going 3 for 10 at the plate. Oh man, you hitting amazing for the year.
No, listen, if you go through, if you can hit 300 for the season, you getting signed some good money.
Right, because people are throwing 800-mile-per-hour balls at you, and sometimes the balls curve and everything like that. All the pause. But shout out to the Job Tips Network. Shout out to all the shows. You guys heard us say this about 96 times already, so you don't need to hear me say it again. But shout outs to us again. Road to 100. I'm still trying to figure out what we're gonna do for the 100 episode. We got to see. You know what I think for the 100 episode? I'll let y'all know off camera real quick. But we'll definitely do something pretty cool for the 100th episode. Shout out to Suplex Sparrow and NWO News. You know, he's still doing big things. Shouts to everybody going to WrestleMania this year. Everybody seems pretty excited about going to WrestleMania this year. A lot of excitement on Twitter and everything like that too. I just felt like I need to shout out to Pat McAfee, bro. Shout out to Matt. Shout out to Pity Pat.
Yo, shout out to Pity Pat.
That's Pity Pat.
The biggest interview that you could get
in life, in history. Yes. Yeah. Pat. He's interviewing Vince. I cannot wait to watch that. But sometime next week.
Or we'll have Jack Tunney on the show too.
Bye.
For the Queen Tay. For BK Matt, who Pete just severely pissed off. For the voice of Generation Pete Rosado, it is your boy Big Baby. Signing off. Peace.